Look, straight out, for those of you who are in early, my understanding of the situation is it's a positive one. I'm not going to be the guy who says it's done because I haven't got those sources. But I can tell you, I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty goddamn confident that this gets done. Of course, there's still concern because we haven't seen movement. It's going to come down to the player, like we've always said. The player just needs to give that final nod, and then we'll know where this is going. I think it's going to be a yes. Many journalists that I've spoken to believe it's going to be a yes. Sources on the Spanish side believe it's going to be a yes. But none of that really helps us out until we get the here we go or whatever version of that you'd like to hear from the journalists. So tonight, let's go through and see where we're at. So the Echo posted something that caught my eye a while ago, and it's giving an update from a Spanish outlet. Again, the Echo can't spell Spanish because they call it Apanish. Again, great journalism. They say that Spanish outlet Revelo has said that he's given the thumbs up to a move to Anfield. And again, that's coming from the Spanish side. They're saying that Martin Zubimendi's given a thumbs up to join Liverpool. And that kind of backs up what Florian Plettenberg was saying yesterday. It's all just waiting for that final nod from the player. Look, we're going to talk about the payment structure. We're going to talk about why that's delaying things as well, because I'm sure people have a lot of questions on that. We're also going to discuss the likelihood of Stefan Bajcetic, or Badger Tits as he's affectionately known here on the channel. If you're wondering, by the way, why we ever say that word or that phrase, somebody's auto-corrected them dirty when they were trying to write Bajcetic one day, and that's what it came up with. Zubimendi is staying here, said Super Yoshi, nah, cool story bro, but he ain't. You know, I get it. I'm not here to laugh at Sociedad. I've got respect for the club, mate. I'm not here to rain on your parade, but I genuinely think he's leaving, mate, in all honesty. No disrespect to Sociedad, as I've said, fine club. We've got a good relationship over the years. You know, we've got John Toshak, who was over there coaching. We've got Xavi Alonso, who came across to Liverpool from Sociedad. And, of course, we'd Aldo as well. So I'm not going to disrespect your club, but I'm also not going to put up with you just coming in and, you know, just waffling. You don't know if he's staying. I think he's leaving. The journalists on your side think he's leaving. But again, we have to wait for that. Here we go. Nothing better than being on the road, listening to the positive Irish chirp of Craig. And I agree, Craig, this feels like a PR approach from Sociedad. That's exactly what it feels like, Benjamin. They have to reassure their fan base that they didn't make this easy. You know, but let's just look at a few hypocritical things they've done over the past 24 hours. So, one thing that they initially said and put out there was that it wasn't going to come down to money. If the player wanted to leave, then they weren't going to stand in his way. Now, all of a sudden, they're trying to throw a new contract offer at him. They have to make it look like they've done everything to try and convince the kid to stay. And I respect that. But it isn't going to work by the looks of it. And you know, he's going to make a decision this weekend. That's what everybody is saying, regardless of how far along some people think it is or what the likelihood is of him coming or not. Everybody's in agreement that he wants to make that decision this weekend before the week that I guess Sociedad kick off their La Liga campaign. Craig, is it unreasonable for Liverpool to feel slighted by the decision at this point? Moving him into the squad might be tough if things don't go well straight away. I don't see why Liverpool would feel slighted. I will still stand over the point that I don't think Liverpool go to the negotiating table this far unless they're getting positive vibe from Zubimendi's side. Now, it is his hometown club. It is where he got his footballing education, and it's always going to be a difficult decision. But he views Liverpool and Liverpool's situation as a special one. That's been mentioned again across multiple outlets. So I get it, we're all on edge, but you know me. If I felt like this was going to collapse, I'd be on here screaming and shouting. But I don't. I feel like we all need to just ride this one out a little bit. Understand everybody's frustration. Of course I do. We've seen Caicedo. We've seen Lavia. We've seen other situations in the past where Liverpool didn't get it over the line. This, I don't believe, is going to be one of those occasions. Daniel, thank you for your super chat, Daniel. Really appreciate it. Let me just bring it up on screen for you. Don't go to Liverpool because you won't be better than Rodri anyway. Is that what the Real manager has said to Zubimendi? I haven't got a clue what the manager has said to him or not, but If he said anything along those lines, you can guess what the response back from the player would be. I hope that they don't leave a bitter taste in Zubimendi's mouth here, by the way. Sociedad, you know, there's no need to vilify this kid. You know, if Liverpool trigger the release clause, which is what we're humming and hawing about at the minute. So obviously Liverpool don't want to pay 60 million quid up front in one go if they can help it. Whether they pay a couple of million more and do this deal over 4 or 5 years or the length of his contract, that's what this sticking point is. But it's not going to be the thing that makes or breaks the deal. I can say that very confidently. Liverpool aren't going to walk away from this because of the payment structure. They just prefer to not have to tie up so much cash immediately in one go, because obviously we've got other targets in the window. Another super chat from Off the Post, and then I'll get stuck into the news. So, how confident are you about Zubimendi? So last night I said 80-20. Today I'm ratcheting that up to 85-15. Genuinely, I'm confident on this one. I don't know why I'm so calm, because you know me, these things agitate the hell out of me. But I really do feel like all signs here are pointing to him leaving. You know, the longer a situation goes on where you're undecided about leaving somewhere, I think you're starting to try to look at convincing yourself to stay. And if you're doing that, you've already made your decision. So I think he wants to come. Again, the report coming out of Spain this evening from, was it Revelo? 1 second, let me just get this correctly. Yeah, Spanish outlet Revelo said Zubimendi has given a thumbs up to a move to Anfield. And that kind of ties in with others. So, yes, I do think it happens, mate. I really do. Yeah, I mean, the Davo Cop news is nothing really. It's just, again, I would call it the last stings of a dying wasp. Basically, they're going to offer Marino and Zubimendi new contracts, but I don't think it's going to come down to the financials. It's going to come down to ambition. You know, the player's going to want to come play in the Premier League, challenge for the top European trophies, and with all due respect to Sociedad, he's not going to do that there. Particularly, they've lost a great centre-back as well. Marino could be going to Arsenal. This just feels like, again, to me, a case of them showing their fans that they're fighting to keep the players, but I don't think they're going to be successful. I really don't. I don't know about Marino and Arsenal. I haven't kept any tabs on that because it's no interest to me, but with this one, my indication is that the player is very, very much leaning to the yes, make the move happen. Then it'll be down to Liverpool to either trigger that 60 million euro release clause in one payment or agree a structure with Sociedad. So this coming in from, a Sociedad-based source that said, in England, they are sure that Zubimendi will wear the red shirt from this season onwards. Martin Zubimendi must make his mind up this weekend. Liverpool will not wait for him. There is a hope in San Sebastian that he will stay. But again, the same guy has just said that Liverpool are convinced he'll be wearing the Liverpool shirt from next season. So, look, as I said, they have to fight to try and keep him. But he either moves this summer or he takes his chances on ever getting a move like this again. Because with all due respect, Liverpool are at this point in time a far more attractive proposition than the likes of United. We know he's turned down Bayern. We know he's turned down Arsenal. I really feel like we know that the kid wants it or we wouldn't still be here. If Hughes and Edwards weren't getting the right vibes from his agent, who, remember, is an agent that Hughes knows well, an agent that represents Alonso, an agent that brought Andoni Iraola to Bournemouth, which Richard Hughes was part of as well. So again, I feel like they're just doing what they have to do publicly at this point, Sociedad, to make it look like they dragged it out and they fought hard to keep him. But if he has ambition and he wants to really go on and establish himself as a real top talent in Europe and challenge for honours, then he's got to make the move. If he decides he wants to stay and, you know, ultimately his heartstrings pulls on it, then Liverpool need to move on quickly from it. So either way, I believe he's coming, but I also understand why Liverpool would want it done this summer. This weekend.